Anatomy 32, Chapter 15, the lymphatic system and immunity. Topic, AIDS. So AIDS is caused by an HIV infection. So the virus, human immunocompetent virus, is a virus that specifically targets the helper T cells. The helper T cells. And what this causes is a eventual collapse of the specific immune response. Because again, the helper T cells are the leukocytes that stimulate the specific immune response. Without them, you lose the ability to target specific pathogens and destroy those pathogens. And often, what ends up hurting the people with AIDS the most is opportunistic infections. These are infections by bacteria, fungi, viruses, etc. that we have living in us and on us that normally cause no problems at all. But when the person has their specific immune response collapse, then those pathogens become opportunistic infections that hurt and even kill the person. So the HIV infection goes through 3 stages. You have the acute stage. So shortly after becoming infected, the person develops some flu-like symptoms. Then is the asymptomatic stage. This can last for years, maybe 2 to 10 years. There are no obvious symptoms, but the HIV, the virus, is slowly destroying helper T cells, infecting and destroying helper T cells, reducing the specific immune response. And then eventually it'll get to the point that the person develops AIDS, a complete collapse of the specific immune response. Now they're no longer able to protect themselves from many different kinds of pathogens out there. However, nowadays there is a treatment that can help make an HIV infection become more of a chronic health issue rather than something that will outright kill them. And this is through taking a drug cocktail, a variety of different kinds of medications. So how can you contract AIDS? Well, let me rephrase that. How can you contract HIV? I should say HIV. You can contract HIV through unsafe sex, through intravenous drug use, through blood transfusions, although rare nowadays, and from mother to infant during childbirth. How do you prevent the person from contracting HIV? Well, for unsafe sex, you can have abstinence, no sex at all, no way to catch HIV that way. Or via monogamy, assuming your partner is also being monogamous, through the use of condoms. And now there's a drug, Truvada, might be called something else now, that can help prevent the contraction of the virus so you can be exposed to it, but it doesn't get a chance to infect your cells. Via intravenous drug use, you can use clean syringes. So instead of sharing syringes with other people, you only use clean syringes that have never been used before. Blood transfusions, nowadays, extremely rare that someone contracts HIV this route because donated blood is tested thoroughly. And then from mother to infant during childbirth, well, if you know that the mother has been exposed to HIV and has HIV infection, then one thing that helps is treating the mother because that lowers the virus load in her bloodstream, making it more difficult for it to get spread to the infant. The child can be delivered via cesarean section, which makes it less likely that there will be a mingling of the mother and infant's blood during childbirth. And you can also supply the infant with HIV medication for the first few weeks of life, with the goal being that if the infant was infected, can prevent the HIV from actually taking a hold in their body. And then it's also recommended that the mother does not breastfeed the infant and doesn't pre-chew food for the infant. These 2 routes probably don't spread HIV, but better safe than sorry, right? All right, and that is it for this brief overview of HIV and AIDS.